We've got our reporters on the ground. Nqobile Madlala is in Durban, Ronald Masinda in Mdantsane, and Pule Letshwiti-Jones in Ekurhuleni. They've been tracking developments of the day's top stories. Nqobile, let's start with you. You have been crisscrossing Durban speaking to farmers who have been expressing concern over food security in South Africa due to the power crisis. What are farmers hoping they will hear, Nqobile, from the president during his sauna address tomorrow?
Well, at this point, Masego, they're hoping for something that will have solutions for what they are faced with at this point. Just to highlight to you what are those issues that they are faced with is, for example, if you're a poultry farmer, you need heating and cooling. That means that the chickens that you are keeping needs at least over 15 hours of power so that they can be in a great condition to have more eggs and so on. And you want to make sure that you're able to store everything in a right condition. So now if you have less power, that means that you have to lose that farm. We spoke to a farmer who's already said that she has closed doors and she has lost people that have worked for her for quite a long time, which means there's an unemployment rate also here that is going up with more people losing jobs. At the same time, there's a farmer that is now making a loss. At the same time, if you speak to other people that are, for example, in the sugarcane industry, dairy farm and so on, if you look at the people that are in the sugarcane industry and vegetables, you understand that irrigation is such a huge, plays such a huge role in ensuring that you've got enough crop. And if you don't have the irrigation system working very well because of power shortages, that means that they cannot create enough crop for you and I who's demanding that from them, which means you have less that is being produced, and with less being produced means there's more demand, and more demand means the prices are shooting up, and at the same time it means not everyone can have access to work because there's less to do at this point. So a lot of farmers saying that they're looking for solutions being if the government can insist or can help them in investing, ensuring that they can also produce perhaps things like jet fuel when they're done farming, and they can produce such to go back into government, and government can use that to ensure that you and I don't have power issues. But at the same time, they're saying that they want to see government also coming in to assist them in cases where they are making a loss. But let's listen in as they explain further.
It is a difficult one, I must say. As you rightfully pointed out, we've just barely survived and still recovering from the plethora of challenges. I mean, we had our unrest in the province. We then had floods. Just as we are trying to survive from that, we've seen the Russia-Ukraine war hitting us badly, thus hiking the inputs. I mean, fertilizer prices have tripled in the last year. Diesel has gone up so much. So now we are faced with the load shedding issue. I mean, as farmers who rely, others are irrigating using electricity, others, are in livestock. You'd know dairy and poultry. You'd know that it relies very much on ESCOM. So it's just hitting the farmer so much with so much of them. So it does pose a food security challenge. I must concur with Agri-SA on that. But I'm also worried that there's no solution that seems to be forthcoming quite fairly soon. So it's a problem that we might have in the long run, in the long term.
Right. Ronald is speaking to families in the Eastern Cape who have experienced medical negligence in public hospitals and are possibly suing the state. The province is one of the leading ones in medical legal claims against government in the country. Ronald, has the Provincial Health Department communicated anything with you about how they plan to curb this healthcare crisis?
Yes, so they have raised concerns, and in particular concerns about lawyers who are taking advantage of the situation. They say that a lot of these lawyers are also in court, taken by the department. Some are facing fraud charges. But what we understand from the people that we spoke to on the ground, a young lady who gave birth in 2014 and had experienced health complications after giving birth here at the Cecilia Makiwana Hospital. She was a BCom student. Then she eventually completed her degree degree at the Nelson Mandela University in Gqeberha, but the concerns for her is that she can no longer move properly. She has experiences with back pains, spine is also giving her trouble, as well as issues like she cannot go without wearing the diapers, so she cannot even go to work, Masego, as a 30-year-old. Now, she is one of many people who are saying that now is the time that she wants to sue the department for what has taken place in her own life. We heard from her earlier. These were her words.
I was stressed. There was a nurse who used to steal medication for me and give me pills because she saw my situation. She will give me extra pills and say, take these pills, hide them, eat some now, and then you hide the other pills. And then she noticed that, no, still the doctors are treating me so badly. They will come, and I was in the first bed, but they will go and see all the other people. When they come to me, they will have like attitude. They will write things on my bed or on my folder saying that this patient is being difficult. This patient is being fake. She's not sick. She's making things up. We don't understand what's going on with her. Up until that nurse who used to give me pills, she said to me, give me your mother's number. I will call your mother and I will tell her to come and discharge you here.
All right, back here in Johannesburg, Pule is following up on politics in the coalition-run city of Ekurhuleni, where the DA's Raymond Dlamini is taking the legal route in a bid to be reinstated as Speaker. This while the coalition government falls apart, residents have decided to clean their streets and fix potholes themselves. Pule, how are things going in terms of that project by residents themselves?
Definitely. Earlier on, we spoke to the council, who had said that the spokesperson of the city had said that they are worried about the service delivery deteriorating in the city, particularly with the continuous political squabbling that's happening in council. Of course, we do understand that some of the coalition parties, such as the ANC and their minority parties, 7 and the EFF, have come together to focus and see how they can try and overcome this on Friday. But on the ground, Atani is a different story. We're in Alberton now. This is said to be one of the most dangerous areas where we are currently in terms of crime, in terms of other criminal activities that are taking place in this area. And I'm speaking to residents as well, just to get a sense as to how they feel that while there's political, squabblings happening in council, things or service delivery isn't being serviced in their city and their areas as well. I'm joined by Michael Hume, who speaks of community leader in Alberton. Thank you very much for joining us. Now, Michael, you're saying that you're quite worried about the deteriorating state of the city, particularly with service delivery not being, serviced here in these areas as well.
Yeah, Pule, as an organisation, we've handed over memorandums to the councillors in our area. Our pleas fall on deaf ears when we speak to our councillors. We have serious problems. This one here, Funny Farm, it's been reported on before in the media. Here, things like drug trafficking are taking place, things like human trafficking are taking place, gun running, illegal connections of electricity. Most of our problems with electricity cable theft stem from this place. And further from here, it spreads out further into the suburbs where they take over buildings and they are seriously destroying our town. People's livelihoods are at stake. We stand as residents and we ask, and we have meetings with the council, we have meetings with the people, and we don't even get any feedback. We got told this place will be closed down in December. We're still sitting here 10 years later with the same problems. And we'll take you around the town and show you more. But the truth is, as residents, there's not much more we can do except stand and fight. And we don't care who's in political charge. What we want is we want service delivery in our towns. We want safety and security. We're standing opposite the Health and Social Development Training Unit for Ekurhuleni. And right outside is probably one of the biggest health and social risks that Alberton faces, right outside their own door. So the question is really to the President of the country in his SONA debate today. We need to know what municipalities are really doing. Here we are, right outside the municipal building. But they've got a massive problem right outside that hasn't been addressed for the last 10 years.
You've said you've tried to raise with the councillors, you're not getting anywhere. Are you also not fearing for your life now because you've been trying to report the kind of crime that's happening in this area here?
Look, there's a lot of us that are exposed. And yes, we do fear for our lives. There are very seriously dangerous people here. And these things go very, very high up. And I just don't think that there's any political will to fix it, to be honest with you. The people, the guys in this town know what the problem is. The councillors know. The Ekurhuleni Metro knows. We've called upon the mayor to speak to us, and the mayor won't even come out and speak to us. So, where do we stand as residents? What are we meant to do? Yes, it's dangerous, but if we don't stand up and act, there's going to be nothing left for our children.
tell us about how you've now taken initiative to fix potholes as well, to cut the grass and use your own resources to fight crime in terms of using private security as well.
Yeah, look, we've been very, very blessed. Some of the ward committee members who work underneath the councillor don't get enough support from him. So we've taken it upon ourselves as a bout to support them in their endeavours to try and fix the town. We've created a group called Pick Up Alberton, where we go out and we cut the grass in the parks ourselves. We go into the servitudes and clean out the servitudes and the flays. We have more projects coming up this weekend where we're going to do cleanups. We also have to engage private security to provide security for people, when the truth is security is a state problem. You know, private companies are there to make money. Let's be honest about it. Not everybody can afford private security. It is still the Department of Justice's, should I say, gambit to actually look after the residents of the town.
All right, thank you very much. Michael Hume there joining us. Masego, of course, was a community leader in Alberton, saying that there's still quite great concerns that are taking place. Just like you can see on your screen, illegal connections taking place in some of these, what one have described as criminal havens, where criminal activities are taking place. They've reported this to of course, law enforcement agencies a couple of times. We understand this place has been raided before last week, but still it seems as though nothing has been done to actually fight the crime here. And of course, residents are saying council should get its house in order, and there should be political stability to ensure that services are delivered at the end of the day.
All right, that was your All Angles Lunchtime update with eNCA reporters Pule, Letshwiti-Jones, Ronald, Masinda and Nqobile Madlala.